Hi, so Jessica here, and I thought I would put out a quick video about immune support, just helping you to boost your immune system. I know we are all being bombarded right now with talk about not only the coronavirus, but we are still in flu season, and just about how to stay well, how to, people, I hear a lot of bad advice out there, a lot of things about, wearing masks and using these sanitizers and these chemicals that are supposed to help keep us healthy. And there's just a lot of misinformation. So I wanted to share with you from a holistic practitioner's point of view. I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm a holistic educator, health and wellness educator. So I spend a lot of time researching these things. And maybe my top qualification is I am a mother of 5 and a wife. So I am keeping our family of 7 healthy as I can. Like that is a huge focus of mine through the seasons where we are battling the cold and flu and really all year long. I also have an immunely compromised, a neurocompromised child. So we really, I'm very diligent about her wellness and keeping the rest of us well because she lives in the house with the rest of us, and we need to make sure that we're staying healthy. So I wanted to share with you what I do for my family, and hopefully this will help you get some ideas of some things you can do, and without freaking out or getting crazy, and being fearful of what we have going on out there, whether that's of the coronavirus or if you're worried about the flu or anything else that you're worried about. So these tips that I'm going to give you are really just going to help you to boost your immune system in general. So the first thing I want to share with you is that I always suggest to my clients as well as my family, and I'm going to suggest to you that you drink bone broth every day. So this is my favorite brand. That is Bonafide Provisions bone broth. Now, if you do not have, if you don't, aren't able to find this or you don't want to purchase this, these are about, they range from $7 to $9 for this bag, which is 24 ounces. This would last you, probably one person, about, it wouldn't last me a week, but you could make this last approximately a week, I guess. But so you can get this in beef, turkey, or chicken. I prefer the chicken the most, and I don't have any right now, so that's why I'm showing you the beef. But beef is very good as well. But you can also make this yourself at home by using like a chicken carcass. So if you have maybe gotten a whole chicken that you've roasted, or you got, one of the easiest ways is to get a rotisserie chicken, which pretty much every grocery store sells now. Get a rotisserie chicken, you eat that. Once you've gotten all the meat off of that, you put everything else, the bones, the cartilage, everything into a crock pot or a slow cooker or even an instant pot. Fill that with water. I usually add onion, a little garlic, some carrots and celery chopped up. I throw all that in, some salt and pepper, and a splash of Bragg's apple cider vinegar. That's gonna help to really pull those nutrients out of the bones and the marrow. So you throw all that in, and if you're doing it in a crock pot, you wanna do that 24 to 48 hours. You just put that on low and let it simmer. If you're doing it in an instant pot, you can have that done in like 4 hours, 4 to 8 hours, depending on how long you wanna put it in there. And then you just strain the liquid away from the solids, and then you can put that in ball jars or mason jars. Store whatever you're not going to use in the first week, store the rest of it in the freezer. You can also put it into silicone molds, so like silicone ice cube trays, and then you can pop those out, stick those in a freezer bag, keep those in the freezer, and then you have smaller portions that you can use throughout the week, or when you're cooking, or if you just want to drop a couple in a mug and heat that up, and then that's what you can drink. This is so good because most of us realize or have heard that our immune system, about 80 to 90% of it resides in our gut. So keeping our gut healthy is super important, and bone broth is very gut building. It helps to build our gut lining. It helps to build the immunity in our gut. So this is just such a good thing to do year round, all the time anyway, just to keep keep our guts healthy. Bone broth is also super good at helping to thin the mucus. So this time of year, we can be very mucousy. Maybe you have a child that is struggling with kind of phlegm and having a lot of mucus in their throat, or they're coughing a lot of drainage, that type of thing. Bone broth is really, really good at helping to break that mucus down and really helping us to be able to get that out. Because what that mucus is doing is trying to help encase these bad bacteria and viruses that we don't want, and it's trying to help us get it out of our system. So bone broth is really good at helping to do that. So this is my first tip. Another tip that I would recommend is colloidal silver. So a lot of people hear silver and they get really nervous and think, oh my gosh, well, that's a metal. I didn't think I was supposed to put metal in my system. So that is not the case with colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is a very good supplement and very good immune boosting. Again, year round, this is great, but during this time of year, so really for my family, from about October or November through about March, we really hit the colloidal silver. We try to do it every single day. I give it to my kids, I take it, my husband takes it. So we usually do 1 to 2 tablespoons per day of this. If we are, it's a liquid. If we are battling something, if I have a kiddo that is sick or battling something, whether that is a stomach bug or a sore throat or whatever, we really bump up the silver. Really about the only danger with silver is you can start to get a blue tint to your skin if you get too much of it, but you would have to drink a lot of this. So that's not going to happen. Another great way to take this is you can actually get it in a nasal spray and a throat spray. So the great thing about silver is it is, so like if you take an antibiotic, you might go take an antibiotic. Well, it is non-discriminatory, right? It is going to knock out everything, the good guys and the bad guys, which we don't want to be doing. Silver is really good at just targeting the bad guys. It works at breaking down the biofilm that they hide in so that it's harder to get rid of them. It works on breaking that down and getting rid of them. Silver is antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. So if you are, if your kid is struggling with an ear infection, a sore throat, a sinus infection, anything like that, colloidal silver is excellent. You can actually take a dropper and drop this directly into your ears or your child's ears if they are having an ear infection, or they say their ear hurts. Maybe you're fearful that they're going to. If they're have a lot of congestion and you're worried that that's going to turn into an ear infection, you could do this. You could also use it. The nasal spray is really good if you are fearful that they're getting some type of a nasal infection or a sinus infection. Doing that directly into the sinuses, spraying the back of the throat. The reason you want to do it that way instead of just taking it internally is this needs to have contact with whatever germ, whatever bug, whatever virus it's trying to eliminate. So by spraying it on the back of your throat and letting it sit there or into your nose, if you can get your child to hold this under their tongue, in their mouth, or swish it around in their mouth for a few minutes, that's actually a really good way to take it as well. But anytime one of my kiddos thinks that they're getting, maybe an upset stomach or something, they take this and, we have not been sick yet this year. There are 7 of us in my family. None of us have gotten any of the stuff that's going around. I am praying that we do not. But I know sometimes your immune system just cannot keep up with it. But this stuff is really good at helping to support your immune system and really knock those bugs down. You can also put this in a neti pot. So if you are unfamiliar with a neti pot, this is a neti pot. You can get this at Walgreens, CVS, Kroger, pretty much any pharmacy sells neti pots. So this is really good if you get frequent sinus infections or you think your kids may have a sinus infection or one is coming on. Kids, it's a little bit harder sometimes for them to do this, but usually I just put that you can do this with salt water is typically what people do, but I do this with the silver or at least some silver into this with the water. And then you just follow directions and do the neti pot. So this is just a way to rinse out your sinuses, and that is very helpful. Another great thing to help you with combating and just kind of building your immune system. This is especially helpful if you have had to take an antibiotic. So if you maybe tried the natural route and things weren't getting better, or you just went to the doctor, they put you on an antibiotic, and now you're like, well, I know that that's not really good for my system. There are studies out that say it can take a year for your microbiome, so that is your immune system in your gut, to recover the good guys after antibiotic use, after 1 week of antibiotic use. So that is pretty brutal, guys, and that knocks you down for that time. You are going to be, your immune system will be weakened for that amount of time. So we don't want to do that. We want to do that as little as we can. But if we do have to be on an antibiotic, this is one of my very favorite probiotics. This is Just Thrive. All of these things that I am showing you, you can go to my website, jessicatye.com. You can click on my Amazon storefront and you'll see all of these there. So you don't have to search everywhere for them. I also have the silver nasal spray and the throat spray also listed in there, so you can find that easily. This is my favorite probiotic. And what is awesome about this probiotic is you can actually open this capsule up and put this into anything that you are feeding your kiddos. So you can open this and just dump this right into whether that is like yogurt or you know, I don't know, I'm trying to think, yogurt or anything. Like if I have bone broth, I'll open a couple of these capsules and throw that in the bone broth and then split it up for our kids. So usually about half a capsule is good for kids, and then adults is 1 capsule. And you do not have to worry about this being destroyed. A lot of people worry about that, well, I have to keep my probiotics refrigerated, and if I don't, they're gonna die, and there's all of these things. You can read more information on these, but just think about it this way. If you are putting this into your body, is your body refrigerated? No. So if you dump this in the food that you're about to ingest, you're going to be just fine. So again, this is a really great way to build the microbiome, build your immunity, or to build it back up after you've taken an antibiotic or something like that. Okay. Another thing that I love to do is Epsom salt baths. Now this part where people will be like, well, you know what, I don't understand, how is that even helpful for my immunity? Well, why it's helpful for your immunity is one of the things that brings our immune system down is stress. And it may not always be bad stress. You may not even realize that you are stressed out, but just the stress of daily life and having to do all these things that we do and running from this thing to that can bring your immune system down and make you susceptible to being sick. The same with sleep. If you are not getting 8 hours, is according to studies, 8 hours is the optimal amount of sleep. Some people need a little bit more. Some people can get by with a little less, but you really need to shoot for 8 hours of sleep. If you're not getting that sleep, then your immune system is being run down. So this is another great way to be able to get that sleep, because I would suggest that you put, I use about 1 cup to 2 cups of this. Now this is a big thing of Epsom salt. So here it is, the San Francisco Salt Company. This is the one that I like to use the most in my bath. So this is magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. You can put this in your bath, a nice warm bath before bed, and soak in this. This is so relaxing and can really help you have an amazing sleep. It also is going to help you to get into a parasympathetic mode, which is you have to be in to get good sleep, to be able to fall asleep, to produce the hormones that you need to fall asleep, like melatonin. But this is also going to help you to be able to sleep and to help you just regulate your stress. In addition, I usually like to put, now I don't sell doTERRA, I'm not a rep for them, but I love their lavender. They also have one called Serenity. These are really good quality essential oils. You need to be careful with essential oils, and just going to the store and buying them off the shelf is typically not gonna work. But this is a really good essential oil brand. So lavender or the Serenity, I put like 3 to 6 drops in the bathtub with the Epsom salt and the hot water and soak in that. So this is really good. Another trend that's happening right now, you may have heard of, I've been doing this for my family for years, but I realized that it is very popular right now because I went to get my normal aloe vera gel, 100% aloe vera gel that I purchase. We had just run out of ours and they were sold out. And I was like, what do you mean they're sold out? And the lady said, oh yeah, everybody's coming in here to make their own hand sanitizer. So I was both bummed that I couldn't get my aloe vera gel, but I was also very excited to hear that people are getting on this movement of making their own hand sanitizer instead of using the ones that are in the stores. That is so awesome. And I am so glad because Perel just needs to be done. When you use hand sanitizers like Perel or a antibacterial hand soap that has the chemicals in it that it does, there are studies that show that that is actually worse for your immune system and that people are building up, or that people are helping these viruses to actually mutate by using these things on your skin. Your skin is your first line of defense for your immunity. So we have a microbiome on our hands that have not only the bad germs get on our hands, but we have good guys on our hands that help to combat those bad guys and keep them out of our system. So instead of trying to kill everything with an antibacterial hand sanitizer or soap, we need to be using essential oils, aloe vera, silver. So I will take aloe vera gel, some silver, the colloidal silver that I showed you, and a few drops of whatever essential oils. You can do, some of my favorites are lavender, eucalyptus is a really good one. So this is doTERRA's eucalyptus, and doTERRA also has one called Purify. I really like this. I clean everything in my house with the Purify. I make a home cleaning solution that includes this Purify. And then this is the On Guard. This is like an immune boosting one. So this time of year, when I'm making a hand sanitizer, this is what I typically will put in it, is just the On Guard. So I'll put several drops of On Guard in there with the colloidal silver, the aloe vera, and just shake it up real good. And you make a really nice kind of liquid gel that you can put on your hands, have your kids rub it together. It's very nourishing to your hands, and it is really gonna help build up your immunity without killing the good guys. It's really gonna help just increase that barrier of protection that you have. This is a roller ball, this On Guard one that I have here. It looks like this. You can get this from them. And what I do is I put this on my kids every morning before they leave. I put it right over the lymph nodes on their neck. And this really helps to protect this fragile area around your face. One of the best tips to staying healthy this time of year is just to not touch your face with your hands. Don't put your fingers in your mouth, around your eyes. So teaching your kids to do that is really important. And having that good gel on your hands instead of an antibacterial gel that has killed all the good guys is really an amazing way to do it, because let's face it, we do put our hands on our face. If you really pay attention to how often you're doing that, you will think that you don't do it very often. And then when you really start paying attention, you're like, oh my gosh, I do it all the time. So just watching that. So I think that's it. That's all the tips I have for you. So just wash your hands really well with soap and water, guys. Try not to use an antibacterial soap. Just making sure you're washing very vigorously with like a good all natural soap would be excellent. Implement these essential oils. Make your own we call it a handitizer, but make your own sanitizer for your hands with essential oils. Use the colloidal silver instead of antibiotics if possible, or instead of ever needing the antibiotics. Just help keep your immune system boosted. Make sure to get in those probiotics so that your gut is good and has lots of the good guys in there, and make sure to replenish if you have been on any type of antibiotic prescription. And then making sure that you're drinking that bone broth to keep the integrity of your gut lining intact and keep that immune system boosted and working for you. And make sure you are getting 8 hours of sleep. Super important for our kiddos too. I know they suffer with sleep a lot these days. We're so busy, we're running to get all these things done. Make sleep a priority for your family. And stress mitigation. Make sure you are mitigating that stress. Mamas, I'm talking to you especially. We are burning the candle at both ends these days. Take a few minutes for yourself at the end of the day. Jump in that Epsom salt bath with some nice lavender oil and relax. Maybe read a book before going to bed. All right, guys, stay well, stay healthy out there, and I'll catch you later. Bye.